have strong feelings about gun control. There's a gun around. You better bet I want to control it. Wait. You're telling me making guns illegal will take them off the street? We should make heroin and meth illegal too. I just feel so much safer in gun-free zones because criminals aren't allowed to use them there. I mean, that's how it works, right? Well, it's like I've always said. If it weren't for guns, we'd still be British. I'd like to introduce you to Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. It's really nice to meet you. How do you do? What's that? Oh no, the pleasure's all mine. This gentleman is a 380 semi-automatic pistol. He doesn't play around.
And now, a few safety tips. And I know that these will probably be pretty obvious, but gun safety is very important, and it could mean the difference between life and death. So, to start off with, this gun is not loaded. I did take out the magazine, and I visually checked to make sure that there are no cartridges in the chamber. So, that has been done. Also, I place my finger on the side here. Your finger should be nowhere near the trigger, on the trigger, in the trigger guard. Keep it away. And lastly, you also want to make sure that you're always pointing it, when you're holding it, picking it up, away from you, and maybe even preferably downwards. Just make sure that you're never pointing it at anybody. And you should always act like the gun is loaded. This is a serious matter. Another kind of safety tip, helpful information sort of, would be on the pistol. And right now it is actually loaded, and the safety is on. But I don't really want to, there is a cartridge in the chamber, and I don't really want to unload it right now. But if you rack the slide and you look inside of it on the breech face, okay, so you want to look, when you rack the slide and you lock it to the open position, look inside of it. And you should see, there should be like a little pinhole on the breech face, which is just the front part of the breech block. And if you notice that your firing pin, just like a little pin, if it's actually sticking out of the hole, then you should not attempt to load your gun or ever try to fire it. You should take that to a gunsmith to have it fixed. You know, in case you didn't know, the breech block is what absorbs the recoil when you know, when a shot is fired. It absorbs the recoil of the cartridge. And so that's really important to take note of. First, great conceal and carry at just a little under 12 ounces. Number 2, holds 6 rounds in the mag and 1 in the chamber. 3, the loaded chamber indicator. You can look into this opening on the top of the slide to see if there is a round left in the chamber. If there is, you should be able to see the cartridge rim through this opening. Now, another disclaimer. You should never rely on this indicator 100%. You should always visually check the chamber by removing the magazine, which I have done, and by pulling and locking the slide into the open position. And then visually checking to make sure there are no rounds in the chamber. Fourth, the insight laser. And I will attempt to demonstrate. Push once. Constant laser. Push twice. Pulse, 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 pulse laser. And push a third time to turn off. Personally, I would only use this feature for intimidation purposes. And this is just my opinion, and I know there are many differing opinions on this, but I like that it's a double action only pistol, and a lot of people might say that's a negative, because that means that every pull is going to be a long pull. In a double action single action pistol, there's only one long pull of the trigger, and then essentially it's a hair trigger. I prefer the double action only because of a few reasons. One, it's least likely to misfire when carrying, and two, it forces you to use a lot more control. There are only a few things that I would point out that I might not like so much about the Bodyguard 380, and I will note that it is a little hard to rack the slide. It's not incredibly difficult, and I can still do it without a problem. But for some other people, I will say it's harder than, if you were using a 22 or something like that. But it's not that difficult. What is hard is racking the slide and then also trying to get it to lock in the open position. That is a lot more difficult. Now, my husband doesn't have a hard time with this at all, and I guess he's just a lot more stronger than I am. I'll show you the problem. Now, this gun is loaded, and it is in that safety position, though. But, okay, let me show you. The issue is that, okay, so you have the safety, this is how you lock it to the open position, and then this is the takedown lever. Okay, so you're trying to rack the slide while also pushing this upwards to lock. And with some practice, I have not had I've got it down. And that's all it takes is just practice to find out what's comfortable for you. And so that would be the first. Overall, I think it's a great conceal and carry. I personally feel a lot better in the case of protecting myself with the 380 instead of a 22. Now, I guess the only maybe negative number 2 would be that it's not as accurate. It's not as easy to be accurate with this pistol as it is with the 22. So, you just want to go with what you feel comfortable with. If you know you could hit your target with a 22, it'd be better to use that than something that's more powerful, but you couldn't make your mark, obviously. So, but that's really all the negative I have to say, and the positive definitely outweigh it. I would say that I did read a lot of negative reviews about after firing so many rounds that it either tends to misfire or, I don't know, other issues. But we have used it many times and not had one problem with it. So, and the more practice we have at it, the easier it is to use. I mean, it's really simple as that. I mean, if you want to get proficient at using anything, practice makes perfect. So, thumbs up for the Bodyguard 380. What do I like about my Bodyguard? Well, I'll tell you something I don't like. Does not protect me from mosquitoes. Ugh. Just remember one thing. A true soldier never fights because he hates what's in front of him, but because he loves what's behind him.